Hey, what's good? I'm making a YouTube video where I talk. This is crazy. Haven't really done this except for in like 4th grade when I had a YouTube channel with my best friend, and we did talk on there. But those videos do not exist anymore. Unfortunately, I kind of wish I had access to them. My posture is so bad. We're gonna sit up. Go ahead and sit up for me, okay? I don't really have hobbies except reading and writing. And writing is really it's not that consistent. But when I'm at work and there's downtime, I'm really trying so hard not to use my phone and like not use social media. Like, I'm really trying to detach myself from that. So I've been reading. I've always been a reader, but I've definitely it's ebbed and flowed a lot. So this summer I'm definitely more locked into reading. So I figured, why not share my thoughts and opinions and desires on the internet.com/YouTube/my YouTube channel / to my 3 subscribers. So here we are, and I'm gonna be earnest and not have shame about the things I like. Yeah, pretty cool. Also, side note, speaking of like being really bored and like just doing tasks for the sake of it, I conditioned my boots and realized that I have worn a hole into the bottom. Like, I can stick my little pinky in there. Yeah, so that's not good. I'm gonna keep wearing them until it becomes an actual problem, but that means I'm probably gonna have to invest money into an actual, like, maybe even new pair of boots, because I like these and I wear them almost every day, and I just love cowboy boots. That had nothing to do with the video. I just thought I'd share. Okay. The stack of my, like, TBR is being used to prop up my computer right now. So that'll probably go down. So this angle probably won't last that long unless I can figure something out. But here we go. Also, this is the first video I've ever like written notes for. So I have notes over here, so if you see me looking to the side, that's because there's notes. Okay. So far this summer I've read 3 books. 3 whole books, yeah. No big deal. First book I technically started during the school year, but it's Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is also the first like fantasy book I've read in a really long time, probably since like middle school, because I don't know, I want to try out different genres. I think it's fun. I read a lot of like really depressing non-fiction and literary fiction and poetry, so sometimes like I just want to die all the time after reading. So, you know, this is super lighthearted and fun. Notoriously so chill. Notoriously like a super chill, awesome, super not emotionally loaded read. Obviously that's not true. Obviously it's like gut-wrenching. So yeah, I started this during the end of the school year when I didn't have time to read, but I like got through the first half so quickly and then stopped reading it because it was then finals week. And then as soon as I had time at the start of the summer, I like blasted through the end of it. What the hell? Okay, so I have mixed feelings. First, magic system, really cool, really compelling, really fun and original. I liked it. I'm gonna really try to stop doing my stupid voice that I keep doing. Shout out to my fellow people who resent the fact that they can't read the like original language of some translated texts and understand them with the like full nuance that you would if you were a native speaker of that language. That shit fucks me up. I should probably be looking into the camera and not at myself. Yeah, that makes me really sad in a super genuine way. This is sort of why I'm learning German. Not that I think I will ever learn German enough to like read things that I would read normal. Like, I don't know. I am really bad at German. Really, really not good. I'm just not good with grammar in general. Don't ask me what a preposition is. I don't know. Don't ask me what an adverb is. Don't know. Which is crazy because I'm 21. I'm 21 years old. And I just, yeah, it just doesn't bode well for me as a person for the rest of my life. But yeah, the magic system is basically, I really went off on a little tangent there, but the magic system is essentially like the magic comes from what is lost in translation between two words, or like meaning found between two words in two different languages, which is so fucking cool. Like, that's so sick. And I think that's a really creative way to implement that concept into a piece of writing. But in terms of the plot, emotionally devastating for sure. But I feel that I personally lost some of the impact because I did not like the protagonist for 95% of the book, which is crazy that I read the whole thing. But the thing is that the other characters were really good. Like, the other characters in the friend group. Like, Rami, love Rami. I think the way that they develop Letty's character is really, really interesting and makes sense. And yeah, I'm avoiding spoilers, but yeah, really good stuff there. And God bless R.F. Kuang for including the side chapters dedicated to each of the side characters, because that was personally for me. That was for me because I really liked them. Maybe it was the point that Robin was like a kind of a blank slate of a character. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I should give it more grace, but I just wanted a little bit more from his character. Sorry. That's my truth. And I did enjoy the end. Like, enjoy is a strong word because it was so sad. It was deeply upsetting, but I liked the ambiguity. I think the choices that the characters made sense. And I think that we know that the characters made an impact on the world, but as with our world, colonialism and imperialism are so deeply rooted into our systems. And those are big themes of this book. I feel like I didn't really give any context about anything, but you can Google. You have access to Google. That was mean. Sorry. But yeah, imperialism, colonialism, so deeply rooted in our systems that it's going to take a lot of fucking work to get those roots out of the pipe, you know? they're in there. And it sucks balls. I feel like that minimizes it a lot, the like violence and fucked up nature of it, but here we are. Anyway, next book that I read is gonna be Zombie, A New Spelling of My Name by Audre Lorde. This was awesome. So awesome. I love Audre Lorde. I love her so much. This was so up my alley. I hate this cover. Something that you will learn about me is that I have very strong opinions about book covers. Hate this cover. There is a cover that the like Goodreads, I don't know, the reviews are under that edition's cover. Need that. If I'm gonna be editing savvy, maybe I'll put a picture of it here. Probably not though. But yeah, I'm a massive fan of Audre Lorde's writing. I've read a lot of her stuff for classes and just on my own, and I've done research about her. Like, I wrote a whole paper on her fall quarter of this year. Just such a fascinating person, just so interesting and complicated, and as people are. Anyway, it's autobiographical. It follows her sort of coming of age, like as a child in New York and as a teenager, and then into her early 20s. Super awesome. I feel like a lot of the work that's out there by Audre Lorde is kind of from her 30s and 40s. So it's kind of interesting to see this perspective, and her kind of retrospective on her life, her early life, and the prose in this book, like, actually life-changing. I mean, what else did we expect? But on page 138, when she's kind of having her first sexual encounter with a woman, it challenged the knot of terror I felt at the thought of Ginger's unknown expectations, at the thought of sexual confrontation, at the thought of being tried and found wanting. The concept of being tried and found wanting has been haunting me since I finished this book. Like, I genuinely don't know if there is an author other than Audre Lorde who has captured emotions in the way that I personally feel them. Like, that is, like, spot on. Like, there is something so vulnerable about being seen in your desire, if that makes sense. Yeah, she was just a phenomenal person, just a phenomenal writer, and I don't really have any critiques of the book, because how could you take issue with, I mean, you can't take issue with someone's life, but if someone writes about their life in such a beautiful way, straight from the soul, like, if they're just a good storyteller, like, I really can't take any issues with this book. Sorry. Okay, final book that I read that I've read so far this summer. Sunbird by Chloe Michelle Howarth. Like every freckled gay person, I feel very drawn to Ireland. That's my truth. Shout out Paul Mescal. I really think all men should be wearing shorts as short as you do. This is a coming-of-age novel about two teenage girls in the 90s being in love with each other. Which I guess is spoilers, but, like, where else was this gonna go, you know? Like, yeah. So, just on that description alone, like, I'm there. Like, I'm sad. I'm there. And I was there. And it was good. I would say it was good. It was solidly good. However, I will say, I don't see where people are coming from when they're like, Big Thief fans, tap in, this one's for you. Like, this is right up your alley. Like, I guess, and that Big Thief fans are lesbians sometimes. And I guess Adrienne Linker does make religious allusions in her writing sometimes, but this is like full-blown just Catholic pining. This is like, I want to worship you, like, you are the divine. I am here to act as your servant, essentially. Religiously. Not in a freaky way. Yeah, but I don't think Big Thief is here. Like, I think they got their own thing going on. And that's okay. They don't have to be this. This can be this, and they can have that. I would say the comparison of like Adrienne Linker's solo stuff is more relevant, but even then, like, it's not that similar, I would say. I hated the ending of this book. I don't know what I would have changed. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't satisfying for me. And I'm someone, again, who likes an ambiguous ending. I think that's realistic. I think, like, we shouldn't know if they end up together. Like, we shouldn't know how the rest of their life goes, because that's realistic. Because they don't know where their life is going to go. And I do wish that there was more exploration into the, like, religious aspect. I do think it got a little repetitive at times and kind of stayed at this, like, surface level kind of pining. I just wish it was, like, more saturated, I guess. And I guess it makes sense that as a 15-year-old you're not, like, so introspective and, like, so, like, how does this tie to this and this and this? But I just wish there was more discussion of, like, faith and Catholicism and that whole thing. So, yeah, those were my thoughts, opinions on book that I've read so far this summer. Those are the 3 I've read so far. I'm coming to you live while editing. I fully forgot to mention a book that I finished. 4th book that I finished. But I don't have a physical copy of it because I read it, like, on my phone and audiobooked it because I would listen to it at work while I was doing tasks. But I finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, aka one of the prequels to the Hunger Games trilogy. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I mean, it was fine. Coriolanus is so evil. I didn't like him. Obviously he's fucking evil. We know he's the president of the oppressive regime in the. But, like, I saw the movie last summer or last school year, my, like, sophomore year of college. I liked it. I think it translated better on screen than as a book, but in the movie you lose how much of his internal monologue is just so evil. He's just an evil guy. He's just, like, very little nuance. Like, he doesn't turn evil. He's evil the whole time. Just so evil. Like, you're 15 and you're evil? Like, you have no malleability in that brain of yours? I guess he's not 15. I think he's, like, probably 18 in the book. But you can change your opinions about things. But again, I don't know. And I like Lucy Gray's character. I do. And I did start... Oh, what's the new one? Sunrise on the Reaping. I already like it way better. Again, because it's much easier to read a book about a character who has nuanced thoughts and perspectives, and not just, hey, I'm evil. Can you tell I'm evil? I'm the evilest guy in the whole world. And like you can see the characters developing. I feel like I had something else to say. Oh, I saw a YouTuber be like, why does Haymitch refer to Lenore Dove only as Lenore Dove the whole time? Did you have the same issue in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snake when they're calling Lucy Gray the whole time? And that's because that's her first name. So that's actually going to be her first name. Her full first name is Lucy Gray. Her last name is Baird. Lenore Dove Baird. Lenore Dove. That's her name. So I just thought that was funny. But anyway, I feel like a real YouTuber having a little editing intermission. This is awesome. This is fun. I like this. Sorry, did you recognize me without my glasses? I was in disguise. It's me again. Hey. Yeah. Anyway. I started Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. Again, I'm trying to get into more horror, fantasy, sci-fi, the works, you know? I'm trying to get into it all. I want to have little forays into every genre. It's gonna take me some time to get to romance, admittedly. I'm scared. I don't know if it's ever gonna get there. I've tried in the past, even when I was like a teenager, I just wasn't into it. But I think any genre can have excellent writers. So, gay vampire, gay lesbian vampire. This I started today. Art on My Mind, Visual Politics by Bell Hooks. After finishing Sunburn, I was like, okay, I need something intellectually stimulating. Not that it wasn't, but it was definitely like, that is a fiction novel about feelings and being a teenager. And now I want to read about art criticism. I got this in Berlin. I went to Berlin for studying abroad. Did you know that? Did you know that I went to Berlin? At a really fucking cool bookstore that only had like queer and women writers featured, which I don't know, like maybe people don't love that idea, but I'm generally pro spaces that lift up voices of marginalized communities. So that's really cool. And I'm excited. I'm like not that far in. I'm like technically, well, there's an intro, but I'm technically on like page 4. But I'm excited to read about art from the 90s, specifically by Black artists. Yeah, very exciting stuff for me personally. So that's what that is. Okay, next. Now we're getting into chronological order as I bought them. And these are books that have been sitting on my bookshelf and I haven't started them. First, Circe by Madeline Miller. Now this is a Greek myth reinterpretation retelling. I'm not the most well versed in this specific subsection of novel, but I am interested in classical Greek mythology and such, classics in general, because when you date someone who's a classics major, you're gonna pick some things out of Abby. Hey Abby, maybe you'll watch this, maybe you won't. I've heard it's excellent. I don't know if I super trust the sources that say it's excellent. Like TikTok, which I haven't had in months, by the way. I've not had TikTok in months. Be proud of me. So we'll see. But I don't know. Like, Madeline Miller seems like a lovely gal. And I'm sure she's an excellent writer, and I'm excited. So I guess maybe I'll let you know how these things go. Maybe I'll make another video in the future. No promises, because I'm inconsistent generally about things. Next, Her Body and Other Parties, Carmen Maria Machado. I read In the Dream House a couple summers ago. That book changed my life. Hey, changed my life. And I love Carmen Maria Machado. She was in a Lucy Dacus music video. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm a big fan. Except I didn't like her newest album that much. I will say that. Anyway. Horror short stories. Probably feminist commentary if I had to take a while to guess. Okay. Borders between psychological realism and science fiction, comedy and horror, fantasy and fabulism. So it seems like it's genre bending, seems very innovative, as In the Dream House was. Honestly, read In the Dream House. Just read In the Dream House. What is it gonna take for me to get you to read In the Dream House? So fucking good. So good. So heartbreaking. So good. Anyway, so I want to read this. I love short stories. I love, mostly because I have the attention span of like actually a fly. I actually don't know how long flies' attention spans are. Or like a goldfish, but I feel like goldfish is overused. And I feel like we need to give more credit to goldfish. I keep doing this, the like merp face. It's unfortunately just kind of built into me. It is just built into me. I'm excited. I'm gonna read it. Okay. The Art of Cruelty by Maggie Nelson. Again, I love Maggie Nelson. It's almost like you want to read the books written by authors that you really like. Yeah. I read Bluets, and The Argonauts. Both phenomenal. Phenomenal. Just really good stuff. Both of those books changed my perspective on a lot of things. And she's just an excellent cultural critic. She just has excellent insights into life itself. I am very fascinated by just like the concepts of like cruelty and the concept of being evil and like being bad and a bad person and what that means and what it means to include those things within art and media. So I think I'm going to enjoy this. I hope. And I hope that I have the brain power to get through it, because it will be really sad if I don't, because she's a very smart woman and I am just a lowly goldfish, a lowly fly. I am a hit. He's actually the smartest man in the world. Do not speak on him. And that's all I have to say about Little Horse. Yeah, excited to read this. Penultimate book, The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. Sci-fi. Have not read a lot of sci-fi in a long time. I used to be into it. Again, middle school was really like peak for me. I was intellectually stimulated by all that young adult literature. Not really. But I was recommended this by Hinge Date, shout out, and I'm excited to read this. I think it's about like the concept of utopia and dystopia. Yeah, I don't have a lot of background. I kind of like going into books somewhat blind because I think it's fun. I think it's nice to not know where you're going, to not know where you're gonna come out. Okay, final book. This one was suggested to me by a friend. Shout out Adalia. The Emperor's Soul. Hate this cover. Hang on. Love this cover. We're gonna go through it. Love this cover. Love this cover. I feel neutrally about this cover. I feel also neutrally about the cover. I like this. Don't love the font choices, I think, or like the spacing between. Love this cover. Love this cover. I feel okay about this cover. I also feel positive neutral about this cover. Anyway, that's what I have to say there. You're really riveting stuff for everyone. Okay. Anyway, hate this cover. Intrigued by the concept. Basically, the protagonist of this book is tasked with creating a soul for a person. Like, it's fantasy. Brandon Sanderson, just like prolific fantasy writer. Prolific, as we know, as everyone knows. I have not read a book by him, but I was recommended this by Adalia. She was like, look, this is a good place to start. It's short, it's sweet, it's not sweet. I think it's probably devastating and like makes you think a lot of thoughts. But yeah, I am excited for this. I'm excited again, trying to get into fantasy and sci-fi and all of the things that don't make me think that hard about my own life. I like thinking about other people's lives. I'm nosy. That's why I should read more memoirs too, because I'm a nosy ass bitch. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to say. Those are all the books that I want to read this summer. The books I have read this summer so far. I'm glad you sat here with me. If you watched the whole thing, happy for you. That's really brave. That's so brave of you to hear my little voice go for, I don't know how long this video is gonna end up being, but I've been filming for 38 minutes. So I'm glad that you were here. I'm glad you heard my opinions, and maybe you'll even read one of these books, or maybe you won't. That's okay. But you should, and you know what? We should talk about books if you want to. If you're out there, whoever's out there, you're cute. You know, you could read a book. I know you could. I know you're literate. Maybe. Who's to say? Anyway, thanks for watching, I guess. And I'll see you sometime. Goodbye.